All right, give me a sec. Give me a sec. I think I have to mute that. Let me close the window too. Just wanted to get some coffee time here. I don't mind. Sorry about the noise. Got to. I have a mess. All right. Let's get this thing going. I'm going to make some coffee here real quick while we sit here and yap. I turn it on first just to get it a little dried up a bit. Just before I get to log on to work. So you see what. So normally this is my coffee station right over here. I already showed you guys how I make my coffee on the thing here. I don't think it's that big a deal, to be quite honest with you. But, you know, everybody's nosy and everybody wants to create content on the interwebs, including yours truly. So, and a couple of things here. Today, I would say I started working out, but I didn't. It's just I got on the exercise bike for a little bit, you know, and that was good. That was refreshing. I'm gonna start it off 15 minutes a day at least. I might do 15 minutes twice a day for a little while, and then get my body acclimated to moving around for about a week. That's the plan, and then from there we're gonna start. We will start doing some real exercises here. I rearranged a little bit the cameras a little bit, got them in a little tighter in some spots, got them in doing some things. You know, something like that, just to kind of clean everything up a little bit. So we're going to start that new trend a little bit. Now, we're not going to go completely healthy or completely anything. But what we're going to do is just start moving around. That's it. Just start moving around. All right, nothing. I'm not going to track my progress or anything like that. We're not that kind of channel here. We're just a yapping and sort of breakfast channel. Well, not breakfast, but maybe cooking. See how everything's just easier over here? You got your station, you got your habits. Some habits are good, some are not. You know, it is what it is. So what I'm doing lately, of course, I just started my little thing here. We're going to make some eggs today. I'm just gonna have some eggs and toast. I ain't gonna be worried about too many things. Just to break the fast, you know what I'm saying? Put these over here. I don't know why I brought this here. I want to just kind of talk about something in general that might just overall be kind of a microcosm of America and something that's kind of been on my mind a little bit. I've been consuming, and maybe I'll talk about these channels, maybe I won't. Let me go close this door. And how I feel about what it's like to be a content creator in general. You know, it's I guess in a sense, let that die down a bit. I guess in a sense, put that over here. I am somehow connected to everyone that makes content. And in a weird way, that kind of makes me, if we look at the grand scheme of things and we look at the grand picture of things, that makes me connected to the, I forgot my little light on there. We got the flare back right here. There's the flare. In a weird way, that somehow puts me connected to everyone in America. Let's just say somehow we are all living in this land of America. And in a weird way, we do have to respect each other, even though we don't like it. For instance, this content I'm creating with you, with people, with you, with everybody that I'm sharing and I'm going live with, sort of thing, is we're on the same platform. And the same platform allows for this content. You know, it doesn't discriminate that much in certain aspects. Of course, you get blocked if you do this, if you do that. You know, I mean, that's obvious, right? We get it. We get it. Oh shoot, I only have one. That's funny. I usually have two of these 8-inch pans, but I bent the shit out of the other one. So we have to respect what the platform allows us to post, but I guess we don't have to respect what is posted. I believe it's very difficult for me to want to protect the rights of. Well, I guess I'll tell you what it is in a weird way. I guess I will tell you what I'm looking at, what I'm feeling, what I'm doing, or more or less what I'm consuming. And I have to say, first of all, I don't believe in the rhetoric that is being spouted by these channels. Quite the opposite, actually. But as a content creator, I am fascinated by the fact that this type of content gets so many views. It is crazy to me how, in a weird sense, let's just say what it is, how easily monetized this type of content is. And while some of the content is so off-putting, you should be off-putting. While some of the content is so off-putting, they are removed from monetization. Let me turn on my. They're so removed from monetization that they're so, well. Let's just say they are so bad that they're so bad that YouTube won't actually monetize them, right? So they do have, apparently, and I don't know for sure. Again, I'm not an expert on the way YouTube monetizes and stuff, right? But if I'm listening to these channels correctly, the only way that they get any type of traction or any type of motivation to keep going, aside from so many people liking that and so many people just overall thinking it's cool content, is through money. And I have to believe that either YouTube doesn't pay them out as much, or they like to subsidize their money through other means, like the super chats, which you can give money to on a chat here, or they get money through Patreon or Venmo or whatever other means that they do, right? And remember, we like to get this oil hot. So in that sense, there we go. God damn it. You know what, man? I'll tell you this. Every time I fucking go live, I've never had a yoke break on me in the past, who knows how long. The only time it's ever broken is when I go live. That, oh. That irks me, man. Like, you don't know. Anyway. So I have to believe that either they don't get enough money from YouTube, or that they are somehow making even more money through the outside sources of YouTube. I think that they're making all kinds of money because the views on these things are absolutely ridiculous. The fact that they keep making them daily. Well, I'm going to leave that there a little bit longer. The fact that they keep making it daily, I turned it off too soon. Daily, often, and that there's so many of these channels, and it's these alpha male channels, these alpha male, why modern woman versus traditional man versus traditional woman. These, and it's just absolutely crazy to me how much traction these things have. It's absolutely unbelievable to me. And damn it, man, it just seems to be an actual thing that is. And here's the thing, the algorithm on YouTube, and one of the things that took me down this rabbit hole is the fact that this algorithm on YouTube won't stop. When you start on one, it'll keep going. So if you start on one, the rabbit hole goes deep. It gets down there. It really does. It you can see, if you let the algorithm go, it's just nothing in hours and hours of this content. There's just no stopping it, and it's crazy to me how uh, you get again, you just can't stop it. And that's insane to me. Like how is that even possible? So I consume this content just to see what the deal is, and also one, why it's so famous. Why do we look at this? Why is this so entertaining? I think at the bottom line, and last but not least, whether or not this is really leaving an impression with the kids as far as, is this rhetoric, is this a philosophy that is really entering kids' minds? And I am absolutely just, I hope not, and I hope they see it for entertainment's sake, but there's a terrible, terrible thing in the back of my head that goes, no, man, this is real. People really do believe this. People, people really do and practice this, I think, to where they are being influenced so much by this content to like, yeah, man, that's right. I think I will do that. I think I will practice that philosophy. I think I will be part of this ethos, this part of this whole consumption thing. So I am really hoping that's not the case, but it just seems to be like, hopefully these teenagers are, and they're not teenagers per se. They're not like little kids. They are grown men in their 20s and 30s, spouting off this crazy ass rhetoric. It's crazy to me, and the unfortunate, and I'm not really going to go into what it is. If you guys want to go into what it is they preach and how they preach it, but it really is a sort of, it's not misogynistic in the sense of the word. All right, they don't hate women in that sense, and that's what misogyny pretty much means: a hatred of women. And it's not that. It's a somehow they believe that they are educating these women. That's my whole thing, that they think that they are actually educating somebody on what they practice. I need a big one. And that's what blows my mind to, let me see here. That's what really just blows my mind. There. Trying to get this framed up. And that's the dangerous part, I think. Anyway, that's not my point of this conversation right now. I don't think I'm ever going to go in on them on a live chat, even though there's a certain really, really ironic part to what that conversation from me entails. It's just really ironic, me talking shit about them. And it's not the sense that I agree with the rhetoric. It's the sense that well, I'll get into that some other time. Right now, I'm trying to enjoy my breakfast, trying to enjoy my thing. But yeah, it's a It's definitely a philosophy. Anyway, this rhetoric that I do not agree with is allowed to go on through this, and it's generating views for YouTube. At the very least, that's what's going on. And for those that don't have premium YouTube, I do. I don't. I think it's worth it. I've always been a fan of not having commercials. Um, but at the very least, YouTube is making money from this, from the ads that it's generated, from people watching it, from things like that. That I do believe, and that is possibly, obviously, one of the sad parts of this whole thing. That yes, YouTube does recognize the amount of views and clicks that this thing gets, so it get some water here. So it lets you go on this rabbit hole algorithm. By the way, this shirt, it's almost 30 years old. It might be over. I got it like in 1990. I think I was 20. Yeah, guys. Oh my God. Yeah, it's almost 30 years old. It's about 29 years old at least. It's got holes in the I might want to retire it. It's such a cool shirt. I like it. It's just like now I'm the old man. See, now I feel like I'm the old man with the Grateful Dead shirts walking around the swap meet. That's what I feel like now. I mean, hey man, hey, how much for that? How much for that lawnmower you got there, buddy? With that blower. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll give you 100 for both of them. Anyway, we don't need this. Maybe turn this off and see if we can. Huh? See how that works? No, it's still there. Oh, so this is coming from somewhere else. Oh, I forgot to flag it from this side. Oh well, I'll figure that out. Because obviously it's a flare from um, this one. Gotcha. All right, I'll switch that flag around. Oh, that's what happened. The flag that I had there dropped. All right, never mind. You don't need to know all that. Anyway, my thought of the day is, buen provecho, coffee. That's good coffee. The issue that I have with this whole thing is like at some point I don't have to respect their content. I don't think. I mean, I can always just click over, right, and move on over and not be part of that whole cycle of hate, let's just call it, or cycle of. I don't even think they're hateful or malicious people, to be quite honest. From as much content as I've gathered from them, but I don't want to be a part of that cycle of misinformation and miseducation. Um, Not Lauryn Hill type. But I don't want to be part of that. Do I counteract it? I don't want to get into that discussion with people. I don't want to get into a discussion with anyone about things that they believe in strongly that are misinformed. And how do I know they're misinformed? That's the ironic part. That's the ironic part that I'll get into maybe one day on this, but that's not the topic of today. They're misinformed because the ironic part to that conversation of me having that conversation with them. And the sad part is there is just a grain of truth to what they're saying, but it's not the whole thing. And from there, it just goes out of bounds and out of pocket. But my thing is, how do I navigate being on this platform with them? And everybody was talking about how, at one point Twitter turned to something else, and then all these people were like leaving because they didn't believe the content creator or the owner. They didn't jive with him. The fact that I think that Twitter was a great means and still is a great means of communicating and processing information on a mass media, somehow, basically, that it's a great idea. Um, that somehow we should keep using it. And I'm kind of in a little philosophical conflict with that. We're like, there are a lot of terrible, terrible things that happen with physicists and mathematicians that they all thought was a good idea, and they create some of the worst things ever in the history of mankind. That's created by scientists and physicists that are backed by evil money. There's no, that's a hard fact. There's no way that these things get built by people who are not educated in the field of mathematics and science, that are not in what the kids call the STEM field, right? Those weapons do not get built by regular people. Regular people make bows, arrows, and cannons. Um, Everything else is made by a scientific mind. However, the scientific mind has also brought about many other things, like the cure to certain things, and the ability to prevent certain things. But where's the trade-off? Where's the trade-off? You know, do we kill 10 million people, 20 million people in a war to save how many million people somewhere else? Is that a fair trade? And I'm not trying to belittle anyone out there that's gone through something horrific, a bad sickness that has been cured by science, including on a very basic level myself. I'm not trying to compare myself to anyone who has it, but I was in the hospital for over 2 weeks once. All right. Um, Again, where's the trade-off? And that's another philosophical thing. But here's what my main point of what we're talking about today, as we look at yeah, man, failed on my eggs, is they're not much to look at. I give you that, but they're pretty good. Here's the thing: if there just so happens to be one day where there's YouTube decides, hey, we're having a content creator convention, everyone's invited. All right. Now, if you're watching this, you probably consume YouTube in one way, shape, or form. Whether it's gear review, footage review, how-tos, from recipes to carpentry, to making coffee, to bullshit. I guess this is a quasi podcast sort of thing. I don't know what you would call this, but from this standpoint, we do share something. Now we get to this big convention, and I don't know, where's these people at Google, Mountain View, or somewhere up in Northern California, right? Some sort of hippie state. We go out there, and it just be like a high school. Everyone has their own cliques, but at one point you're all there, and at one point, where do I have a conversation with somebody who speaks something? How do we get people to have real conversations like these people from these channels that I'm talking to? Let's just call it what it is: the traditional man versus the modern woman. When do they get together and actually have a real conversation in this? The people that review gear versus the people that actually use the gear, where do they get together and go, hey man, your review on this is whack, and start criticizing each other in a way that is healthy? And in a weird way, that's America, right? We are in one of the craziest election cycles that America, and I'm using the word America in the grand scheme of things, not American as the United States of America, America as in North America, including Mexico. This is one of the biggest election cycles in the history of this continent. We're going to have elections in the north. We're going to have elections in the south. We're going to have this big change of people is coming. And how is that going to affect us? And where do we get to go to a table and reasonably talk about the differences and what the solutions to the problems are? And when I look at these, let's just call them extreme polarized channels of real life versus YouTube channels, you start to realize that the problem with America is the amount of clicks and likes that are generated by the content you create. And because of that, there's no way you can move off that platform. And in the microcosm of it all, that's exactly what politics are. The politician has gotten to the point where he's making basically free money off of the rhetoric and polarization of where they're at, because of the thought process of the people that got them there. So what got that person elected is what's going to keep that person in office, and that point of view cannot change because they're out of a job. And as a content creator standpoint, and I'm speaking to you about somebody that's on live stream that has nobody watching. I'm talking to you as a person that's not generating any income, and that I'm at a basically free space here, but I'm in the platform, right? I'm in a weird way the equivalent of a voter, without, as a blank slate, more or less. Where do I go? Which side do I pick? What's going to happen here in the great convention in Northern California, in the great convention at my local voting booth? And you have to, you do have to go in there respecting the fact that the other person has an opinion, but not respecting their opinion itself. And that's kind of weird, to where we are, whether it's this little platform here, it's not little, YouTube is crazy, right? But whether it's this crazy YouTube thing, or whether it's this thing we call a nation under God and indivisible, well, that did not age well, And I'm telling you that the polarization isn't just isolated in the United States. The same polarization exists in Mexico. There's a lot of people that are hardcore one way or the other, and they're not going to, in a weird way, they don't want their favorite content creators to stop making content, despite of what that content that person generates is. Everybody wants to be right. So in this weird way, that's where I'm at with this, with these YouTube channels, and in the end, this idea where it made me translate this into the bigger deal of how it is that people deal with themselves and deal with the differences of opinion, which is very surreal, and nobody wants to budge at this point because of likes and monetary streams. There are people doing, even from the basic things of people doing bad things to another person, as a prank, like really bad prank, in order to generate more views and likes. I'll give you an example here that one of the things that crossed here, and it might seem, and I use this example because it's minute to me, to where what does it matter, and it might be minute to a lot of YouTube out there as well, to where what does it matter that this happened? But there's certain underlining things that are happening here that are not being accounted for in the larger sense. So this guy's girlfriend Take a little bite of that. Sorry. Just looks too good. I'm gonna end it here real quick so I can finish eating. So this guy's girlfriend, in order to generate more likes and views on her content, played a prank on her boyfriend. Now, what she did was in his gaming board, she erased one of his characters for him, right? It's just a video game, right? She did it after he had built up this character for, let's just call it ages. For a very long time, he has built up a character. Why does that matter? He's a streamer. He generates income from this game, from this character. She doesn't seem to be anything. All right. Now, I'll bring it at the end here. I'll give you a little what if situation afterwards. So this guy is pissed and this guy is livid and he knows that his girlfriend is filming and he doesn't react. He's all, you need to just basically goes, you don't know how angry I am at you and I'm not going to react because of your fucking bullshit video, but you need to get out of my house. You just fucked me over. That was my money maker. That was how I made my money. All right. Which is now, this is again the old man talking, like, how do people generate money playing games? This is why I give you this example. Immediately, I'm thinking about who cares, right? Who cares? But there's other things that play about disrespect and about people doing bad things, even though it may be fake. What it does is it generates views to where, like, if it was real, I can see that happening. But the fact that the camera is set up, and remember that, guys, the camera is always set up in a lot of these situations. Very rare is it an actual real moment. You got to set up a camera and you got to set up sound to make it sound decent. All right. So in that sense, a lot of things are faked. So he doesn't react and he goes overboard. Now, the first situation is that it's real. Now, the first situation is that it's real, that this person did a really bad thing to this guy, probably basically equivalent of got him fired from work, which is how I'm processing it. She just got him fired from work. He has no job and he's got no prospects at the moment, and he has to start all the way from zero. And she did it just because she wants likes and views on her channel too. In my head, this is my story. Maybe she was jealous that he was getting more likes and views than her. She thinks she can do this too, whatever. Scenario number two, again, is that it's fake. All right, that it doesn't, that it's completely acted out. It's like, I'm gonna play, and there's a lot of these channels where couples play pranks on each other that are harmless, that are all, everyone knows that that it's coming. Everything is too set up. Nothing is really spontaneous. But you see these things where they put practical jokes on each other, and it's all, again, made up. It's fake. The guy didn't get fired. The guy is going to go on stream tomorrow or whatever. I guess there's a way to verify it. If you follow him on the whatever the streaming channel is for gaming, you're going to know whether it's true or not. There's ways to verify that, right? But just the fact that that content got views in and of itself is the issue, regardless of whether it's fake or not. And we love misery. We love drama. That's why soap operas are a big thing, right? And that's part of the issue. But the other problem is, like, okay, why can't we video people doing nice things? Well, let's talk about that. Those are fake too. And they are not genuine acts of kindness. If you go, hey, man, I'm going to give somebody to eat, but hold on, bring the camera out so that you can film me giving them something to eat. Go out and give them something to eat. And did you get it? All right, cool. Let's upload it and see how many likes and views we got. That's, and if you watch what, that's the issue with Clockwork Orange, right? And I'll leave you with this. The problem with Clockwork Orange and the philosophy with Clockwork Orange, at least in the movie, I haven't read. I started the novel. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't finish it. I'm like, it gets to the point where the novel does get more into this, but it is a Kubrick movie. Man. Geez, it's a great movie. But the idea and the philosophy with Stanley Kubrick and what they talk about is that you got a person that's really evil, and what you do is you force him to be good. And the philosophical discussion that he has with the priest is like, maybe it's not worth it to be good for the sake of being good, that it's forced on you. You have to want to be good. You have to earn the grace of God, if you will, or the whatever you're trying to achieve. You have to earn grace by doing good things honorably, by doing genuine good deeds, versus being manipulated and processed to be a good person. And every time you listen to Beethoven, you get sick because it's your now you're mentally messed up. And that's basically the philosophy of it, to where in super layman's terms, it's better to earn a dollar than be given it to it. You're going to find better ways to spend it, right? So anyway, that's been my whole issue today, as I was thinking about rearranging my whole setup, rearranging my apartment, because my apartment is a mess right now. I'm sleeping in the living room. um I've been sleeping in the living room for about 6 months now, at least 6 months, because I wanted to do something else in the bedroom. This whole setup, I was supposed to do it in the bedroom, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I can just do it in the kitchen, whatever. Anyway, that's a whole other show. All right, take it easy. Um, I'm gonna finish my breakfast. That's all. That was just needed to get it off my chest. Take it easy. Talk to you later.